Yeah, hello everyone. I am Dr. Charu Agrawal, working as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in AKGEC Engineering College. Students, today I am here to discuss with you the some of the topics of the Unit 3 of the subject Project Management and Entrepreneurship. Subject code is KHU 802 and also the subject code in the 7th semester as the KHU 702. So as we know about this subject like project management and entrepreneurship. First in the first two units, unit 1 and unit 2, we discussed about the entrepreneurship. So before discussing about in the unit 3 is about the project management. So first discussing about the project management, just have a brief introduction about the entrepreneurship. What is actually entrepreneur? Entrepreneur, we say a person who is having some innovative idea with him. Innovative idea means there is something already in the market and we are applying some new techniques, some new ideas, some new methods, some new procedures to actually enhance that particular product or the service or whatever we in the field we are. Okay, and that entrepreneur is a person who has the ability to take the risk, who has the ability to implement their idea, to materialize their idea into a business, who has the ability to take the decisions, who has the ability to have the leadership qualities. So all these are the characteristics of the entrepreneurship. So ultimately what we understood about the entrepreneur, that entrepreneur is a person who actually have some kind of the idea in the mind that actually socially relevant also, and that actually you can say contribute in the economic development of the country, also in the social development of the society also. So for that they have some idea and they want to implement or convert that idea into a business. Okay, so that with that business other people life become easy. For example, we can think of like about the entrepreneur, like suppose we can take an example that everybody is now using like the Ola for booking the cabs. Earlier what happens that uh, before such kind of the apps or the facility, what happens that generally we if we want to go outside, then we go on the road and then we are searching for any vehicle. Okay, so it takes a lot of time also, about our money also and the various things also. So now, so with the help of these apps, what the owner of the Ola actually thought and implemented that now you are sitting at your home, you want to go at some place after suppose half an hour or immediately, you just search for the location where you want to go, and they will provide you the various list of the vehicles, the different kinds of the vehicles that are available, and you just book that, and they also show you the timing also and the money also. Okay, so that actually you can think made your life easier. So that's a kind of the idea that an entrepreneur can implement. Now you can think of that this idea is actually you can consider as a project. Okay, so for that entrepreneur, for the owner of that Ola company, this idea is actually can be considered as a project. So in the unit 3 basically what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss about what is the project, what are the key characteristics of the project that we should consider, what is the meaning of the project management and all. Okay, so these are the major topics you can see and that we will discuss in unit 3. What is actually the project, what are the major characteristics of the project, and the various subtopics about the project management, also its meaning, its scope, its various characteristics of the project management, what activities we do in managing the project. Okay, so I hope you understood that how this unit 3 is related with the entrepreneurship subject. Now coming to the next, the first topic, that is what's actually the project is. Okay, so we can say that a project is defined as a specific finite set of activity that produces an observable and measurable result under certain preset requirements. Okay, so a project has the specific set of the activities that and the finite set of activities also. Specific means that the first step is this, we need to do after this, the second step, the third step, the fourth step. So all the steps what we are doing after each and every step, that is we need to identify earlier also. Finite set of activities means it's not like that it's going on, it's a continuous process. It should be have a finite set of activities, like we start with this step and we end up with this step. Again we repeat those steps, because if we developed one time the business, then it is necessary to running that business that we follow those steps. But there should be a finite set of steps. It should not be like that the steps are not finishing up, otherwise we will not have a product after this. The result and the outcome of the whole entrepreneurship process will not give you any kind of the result. So you can consider it's a specific finite set of activity that actually produces an observable and measurable result. Means the results that you get after applying the activity, that actually helpful or convert your idea into a project, it results into an observable results. Okay, that these are the results that we can see, we can observe. Along with that, the results are the measurable also. Okay, with some under preset requirements. Okay, these are the requirements, like for example in the Ola case, like we want a app, or we want a facility or a business in which there are the cars are available, different kinds of cars are available, location map is there, so the people can go through that, they'll serve that map and they can book. So all are the requirements, these are the preset requirements, this is the money constraint and all. So all these requirements should be considered, and so that you can consider as a project activity. Second point is that project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service or result. Okay, temporary, what the temporary means here? Temporary means that every project has a definite end and unique. Okay, so temporary endeavor means that every project has a definite end. So it's that I discussed this earlier, that it should not be like that infinite activities are there. It should have an end also, but the number of the activities should be finite. And what the unique and create a unique product. Okay, means the some set of the finite activities should be taken in the project and they create a unique product. What is the meaning of the unique here? Unique means that the product or service is different from all the similar products or services that are available. Okay, so after going through a set of the activities, whatever be the outcome we are having, is actually a unique product which is having some kind of the characteristics or some properties which are actually differing your project with the other projects. Those are similar one in the same domain. Okay, suppose for example, if we are developing any restaurant. Okay, for example, we have in some mind, any entrepreneur have in mind a project idea in which he want to develop a restaurant. Now, then how your restaurant, that we know that there are the number of restaurants they are available in the market. Okay, now how your restaurant is different or considered as different from other restaurants or food outlets that are already available in the market. Okay, so how it's different? So there should be some unique characteristics in your project, and only you are considered as an entrepreneur. Okay, so we know that the entrepreneur are the innovators. Okay, there are some already inventions are there, they are just repetitive, applying some set of the activities to actually improve that particular product or the service. Okay, so maybe in your restaurant you can give some different interior look, maybe you are giving some kind of the garden look, some royal look or something, or maybe you are giving the cuisine that may be the different or have some unique food items in your menu also. Okay, so the project is a temporary, it should have a certain set of the activities to be undertaken and create a product, service or result, you can say in any form, that should have some unique characteristics, that should have some characteristics that are different from the other similar things that are already in the market. Okay. We can also consider the project is a unique process, consists of a set of the coordinated and controlled activities with start and finish dates. Undertaken with the start and finish date means that as we discussed in the previous slide, that it consists of the finite set of the activities. So we should find out, we need to find out that from this date we start our project and by this date we need to end up with the project. Okay, so we have a timeline and based on the timeline we need to finish all the activities. Okay, like if suppose our project need to be first need to plan out, then we need to design that, we need to implement that, we need to do market research and all. So each and every step is divided into a set duration. Okay, and that set duration is should be actually properly coordinated and controlled among the people also, and in the set of the activities, and it should have a particular start and the finish date. It should be undertaken to achieve an objective conforming to specific requirements. Okay, so second point, very important point is that if for any entrepreneur, he is want to develop a project. Okay, so for every project there is some specific requirements are there, that we want actually these things from the project, from the outcome of the project. Okay, so the project should be like that, that it should be undertaken to achieve an objective conforming to the specific requirements, whatever be the objective we have set. We should set the activities or perform the activities in such a way that it actually the result or the outcome of the project should fulfill those objectives also, including the constraint of the time, cost and resources. Okay, we know that these things are very important. The time is very important, that if suppose we thought that after 8 months there is we will have a proper enterprise. Okay, but if suppose we have not taken or coordinated the activities in a proper way, in a timely manner, then it may be possible that we will not have our enterprise by the end of the 8th month. Okay. Similarly, cost is very important. If you delay, time and cost are related. If you delay the activities in the project, then it definitely increases the cost of your project. Okay, because if suppose you have defined that I will complete this project within 8 months. Okay, so you have said you you had designed or drafted the budget in that way. Suppose it is it will take like 10 months, more than 1 year, like, then definitely it will cost you more, because now you will have the outcome, the final product in your hand after 1 year. So the product that you want or actually plan it to have after 8 months, now you will be having after 1 year. So you can say that there is a lack of the 4 months in that. So you have the finished product after the 1 year. So obviously for those 4 months, the human resources are involved, the land is involved, money is the light, fixtures, resources, raw material, everything is involved. So it will lead to the more cost for the company. Okay. Similarly, whatever be the kind of the resources, human manpower, everything. So considering all these three main constraints, time, cost and resources, we should plan the activities of the project in a way that it should be finished up, or we have the enterprise by the end of the finished date that we already decided. Okay, so it's not like that we just have an idea in our mind and we just going with the project or the set of the activities without having any you can say by the set deadlines. So we need to finish each and every deadline, each and every step or set of the activities by the deadline also. Okay, we need to consider that, we need to think about that, because if we are not setting the deadlines for anything, then everything is continuous, infinite. Okay, so it's taking more time and you will not be having your final product in your hand. Okay, Now in this, what are the different kinds of the project? For example, we can consider, like, these are the some of the examples I have read. Examples of project, it can be developing a watershed. Okay, it may be like that, you are developing a watershed only. Okay, creating irrigation facility for any of the farming land. Okay, developing new variety of a crop. It may be developing new breed of an animal. It may be developing agro-processing center, construction of a farm building, sting of a concentrated feed plant, or you are developing any social project. Okay, so any kind of the project. Okay, you are developing any restaurant chain, you are developing any kind of the vehicle industry, anything, whatever be the project you are considering, that project should be finished by the finished date. You need to try to finish it by the finished date, satisfying all the requirements, that satisfying all the requirement and achieving the objective. Okay, these are the our main things that we need to consider about our project. Okay, now what are the main project characteristics? Okay, so as we discussed about the project, now when we are talking about the project, what are the main characteristics that we need to be considered? The various characteristics of the project are finite set of the activities. Okay, so the project starts when the objectives are objective is finalized, or if we are have more objective, then objectives are finalized. The project comes to an end as soon as the objectives are attained. Okay, so before starting any set of the activities, before starting the project, we should finalize what are the objectives that we are having for this project, and we need to finish finish that project, or we need to consider our objectives in our steps in such a way so that those objectives are also considered. So the project starts when the objective is finalized. Okay, only after that we can start the project, and it comes to end. Okay, as soon as we attained our objectives. So we need to plan our activities in such a way that with each set of the activities, our objectives need to be satisfied. Okay, second point is that tenure. Tenure means the time duration. We are talking, as we are talking about the project timing. So tenure means project timing. Project duration. So project, we are know that it's a continuous activity, but it has to come to an end. Its lifespan is fixed. Okay, so it's not like that. Keep it a continuous activity, we are just running without actually without actually thinking about any of the about its end. So it has to come to an end, and it must have a fixed life span. Okay, third point characteristic is that teamwork. We know that that the project, when we are talking about the project, they are the big projects. Okay, in which we actually need a good strength of the human resource. So it needs a team to accomplish the various activities. See, all the entrepreneur don't have all the skills which are required for developing that particular project. Okay, so he needs a team, and then and a team with the members, those who are having the different set of the skills also which are required for that particular project. Okay, so for that he needs a team, and that particular team needs to work in a coordinated way. So that is, you can see as the teamwork. So for the project development, we need a team who can accomplish the various activities with the perfection. Okay. Now the next point is unique. We know that all projects are unique in themselves. No two projects are exactly similar. Okay, so whatever be the project you are considering as an entrepreneur, that project should have the unique characteristics. It should have some characteristics which are different from those activities, from those projects which are in the same area. Okay, so no two projects you can say the exactly similar. There should be some differentiation or some different characteristics between the two projects that are existing in the same domain in the market. Okay, so uniqueness should be there, then only you are considered only as a entrepreneur. Next point is life cycle. We know that like all living organisms that are in the world, project starts slowly, then starts building up in size. Okay, and then reaches the peak before finally get terminated. Okay, so you can divide it as in the different phase also: definition phase, planning phase, implementation phase, and finally the termination phase. Okay, so it you can consider the project is also having a life cycle. Okay, so it starts with the definition phase, in which you need to set the objectives, you need to define all the resources, what you are needing. After that, you need to plan that how you actually implement that project. And after having all the planning of all the set of the activities, then you go for the implementation phase. That is actually the main phase in which the most of the work are required. Before that, the decisions are very important, but after that, in this implementation phase, most of the activities actually implemented. Okay, and finally, when you have attained all the objectives, you can finally terminate the project and you just go with the maintenance and the running of that project. Okay, now the next point is characteristic is made to order. Made to order means the customer always decides the objective and informs the constraints like time and cost. So whatever be the project you are considering, that should be finished within the time and the cost constraint. Next characteristic is single entity. Generally, projects are the responsibilities of a single person or entity, but certainly there are many participants in a project who are actually helping the single entity in the accomplishment of the project objectives. Okay, so in the previous slide, we see that teamwork. Okay, so you already discussed that the teamwork is very important. In entrepreneurship, it is like that the project idea is maybe of the 1, 2 or 3 persons. Okay, but to implement, but to have the final enterprise, the final outcome of the project, those 2 or 3 persons are not actually able to complete that whole project. So for that, we need human resources. Okay, so it may be possible that the idea is of the single person or maybe a group of the 2, 3 person, but to accomplish that particular project objectives, only those persons are not sufficient. We need more and more people. We need a team of the humans. Those actually help them to accomplish that particular objectives of those project. Next is multi-skilled staff. As we discussed that for the development of the project, we need the human resource also, we need the cost management also, we need some kind of the construction also, we need the deliverables also, we need the road transport also, we need to have someone who can manage the raw material also. So all this. So as we discussed in the previous topic, that it's not a task of a single person. It may be the idea of the single person or a group of 1, 2 persons, but the other persons are important. They actually help those persons to achieve that particular project. So for that, we need the multi-skilled staff also. So the staff needed for a project, including the project manager, needs to have a wide range of the skills, including the technical skills, human skills, financial skills, negotiation skills, etc. Okay, so what we need the multi-skilled staff in our project team. Okay, so maybe the a project manager is also there. Maybe he is skilled in some of the skills. We need a financial manager also. We need a HR manager also. Someone who is taking the technical concerns of the project. So there are the number of the things that we need to consider, and accordingly we need to hire the staff or recruit the staff for our project. Okay. Now the next characteristic is subcontracting. Subcontracting is practically unavoidable in some of the project managements, as specialized knowledge or workforce is needed for a very small duration in a project. It is difficult and costly to employ or retain. Therefore, they are just hired for a small duration or a specific job from outside agency. Okay, so what the subcontracting means, suppose I want to for my business I want to develop an app, okay, but I am not skilled, or for that purpose I just give that contract to develop the app to some of the software company who is specialized in developing the apps. So that is the meaning of the subcontracting, that for a small work we just hire the other person and they will do the work for us and we will pay accordingly. Okay, suppose we need to construct the building, so it's not like that we start constructing the building, we just hire some constructor who construct the building for us and we just pay accordingly. Next characteristic is risk and uncertainty. Projects are risky as the activities involved in projects are non-retrievable. Thus, risk is unavoidable. However, risk can be reduced considerably using various forecasting techniques and project management and control tools. Okay, so we know that the projects are risky because we don't know that the steps we have planned, they actually go in the right direction and lead to the right direction. Okay, so these activities are non-retrievable, so the risk is involved in each and every step. Okay, so we can't avoid the risk, so but we can do some of the activities that actually can reduce the risk. Okay, how we can reduce the risk? By taking the proper decisions. Okay, so using the various forecasting technique and the project management and control tools, we can actually take some activities through which we can reduce the risk. Okay, so we see that there are the number of the characteristics whenever we have some idea in our mind, we have some project idea in our mind. So we should consider and we should know that what is the meaning of that project, what are the main characteristics of that project. Accordingly, we need to finalize all the activities, that all the activities should be done in the coordinated and the controlled way. They must meet the objectives that we set before starting the project, and they should consider the time, cost and all the resources. Within those time, cost and resources, we need to finish the project. We need to try at least to finish the project. Only then we have a you can say successful enterprise in your hand by the end date. Okay, so in today's lecture, just have a review what we discussed. We discussed about the project, what is actually a project. Then we discussed a number of the characteristics of the project. Okay, so the fixed set of objective, tenure, the time duration we need to consider, the teamwork we need to consider. There are some unique characteristics in our project. The project also have the life cycle, so we need to plan each and every phase accordingly. Okay, it should work within the time and cost constraint. There are the number of the people are also in your team, those helped you in your various phases. You need to hire the multi-skilled staff. You can give the the small duration or specific jobs to the outside agency and pay them accordingly. And in the project, risk and uncertainty is there, we can't avoid that. Okay, so thank you so much. In our next lecture, we will discuss the project management of the unit 3 topic. So thank you so much. Thank you.